Hey guys, let me know if you can hear me. Hours. We'll start at 8:30. How you guys doing? Good? All right, guys. It's 8:30. Please forgive me. My allergies are not my friend today, so if I sneeze 1,000 times, please forgive me. And I'm a little nasally today, but let me know if you can hear me. That's the first thing I would like. So if you can unmute yourself, say I can hear you. We're good. I'm not just talking to a blank wall. We're all good. So can any of you hear me? If
Yes,
nobody,
I can hear you.
thanks, James. All right, cool. All right, so True Fashion, this is my third call with you guys. For those of you who are new to me, who have never taken a Zoom class with me, I don't even like to call them class. I like to call them discussions because we're just here talking about things that you might not be familiar with. So my name is Raquel. Most people call me K. K650 Credit is my Instagram handle. Most of the things I talk about will go over in the Wealth Squad. I touch on there if you ever need to get in contact with me. I'm not too into Discord. I usually go through Instagram, but if you reach out to me there, I will respond. It just takes me a little longer because I'm still learning how to navigate through. So I am a credit repair specialist. I do own 650 Financial Group, where we deal with credit consulting, LLC prep, tax, you name it. So that's a little brief introduction about myself. I always start my classes with a little Q&A. If you guys have any questions about credit, something that pertains to yourself, the floor is yours. If you have any questions for me, I like just to kind of warm us up before we go into the actual topic of what we want to discuss. So if anybody in the chat wants to unmute themselves, ask me anything you want pertaining to credit, or something you think I may know, you can ask me now, or we can kind of roll along if no one has any questions, and we can go straight to what I do want to discuss today. So if anybody has something they need to talk about, unmute yourself and the floor will be yours. All right, cool. So if you find yourself, you have a question, you can always just unmute yourself and ask. So last class we went over a bunch of stuff, and one thing that stuck out, and many people reached out to me after the call, was in regards to if something doesn't come off your credit report after you run 609 letters, after you reach out to the creditors, what do you do? So one thing that many people don't know is that the credit bureaus are private entities, so they do not work together. That's why you have three separate scores: Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. So them not being the same company, that means that different things report to them. So with that, they're also regulated by the government. So somebody regulates them, making sure that they are following all the rules and laws that we spoke about last class and things that you should learn. So I'm going to walk you through how to actually file a complaint on the credit bureaus. So if they're not answering you within 30 days, what you should do next instead of trying to, I'm sending letters, I'm not getting any responses, all that type of stuff. It's important to know that the credit bureaus also have a governing agency as well. So those of you who are on the path of disputing yourself, trying to get things removed off your credit report and you're not having luck, this call will be for you. And if I lose you guys any part of the way or you're unfamiliar with what I'm talking about, please let me know, slow me down, and we'll go from there. So I'm going to share my screen with you guys, and then you guys let me know if you can see my screen, and then we'll go from there. Okay, let's see if I can hide this. All right, can you guys all see my screen okay? We're all good? Yeah? Just somebody unmute and tell me yeah.
Yeah, we could see it.
All right, cool. All right, so the CFPB, consumerfinancial.gov, is one of the biggest housing agencies for if you're looking for collection reports, if you're looking for credit bureaus, anybody that might be in the financial industry, this is where you go and basically tell on them. The beginning of the screen will look like this. Your main focus in this, if you want to read and see like what they do and what they're about, that's totally up to you. But our main focus is going to be submitting a complaint. So when you go on the screen, you're going to want to go and you're going to actually submit a complaint. So when you're submitting a complaint, you're basically saying they did not obey by what you asked for. They did not respond within 30 days. They're not telling you what they're doing. They didn't investigate it, something that come off your credit report. Whatever it is that you feel like they didn't do and you feel like they're not treating you fairly about, you can go ahead and complain to them right here. And usually when you file a complaint, we call it like the hidden secret in credit repair, because most of the time the account that you complain about or on the bureau, things start removing within the next 15 days. So this is just an expedited way to basically get your disputes going. If you're working with a credit repair company and they're telling you that they're filing complaints and they're getting results within 15 days, all those fancy things that a lot of credit repair agencies like to use, this is what they're using. So I'm just going to give you guys the hidden secret. So the way you go and file a complaint is you're going to go and start a new complaint. And this is for people who are trying to repair the credit themselves. I know some people might be on this call and have no idea what I'm talking about, but based on last call, this is I just want to follow up and make sure you guys have all the tools to be successful at disputing. So here you're going to start your complaint, very simple. Within the complaint, you're going to go, and these are very important steps, so follow me. First, you're going to go to credit reporting, credit repair services. That's what you're going to click. Okay, and the next thing, you're obviously going to put credit reporting. If you're somebody that's dealing with student loans or anything like that, then obviously you'll pick something other than what we picked. But for the purpose of credit reporting, these are the two categories that we're going to utilize. And then from there, we're actually going to go and say the problem with credit reporting, investigation to existing problem. So because we already sent the letters out, now we're going to say, okay, I didn't get anything back. You guys are saying that I have to follow all these rules. Everything that's on my credit report is supposed to be correct, but you guys are not doing your part. So that's why we choose that. So then here, most of the time, and even when I started doing complaints, I started to go into investigation, took longer than 30 days. But as I've learned in different tactics, you actually want to say was not notified in investigation status or results, okay? Because that means that, yeah, investigation took longer than 30 days during COVID. They say they have 60. So to go all around that, you want to say was not notified about investigation results, took longer. Did you try to fix this problem? Yes, we tried to fix the problem by sending letters. Most of you guys know last call we talked about the 609 letter, so that's exactly what we would be referring to. All right, so here, this is where it gets good. So most of the time in my complaints, I always tend to backdate my letters. So it basically allows me to expedite my process. So if I'm sending out a letter on April 15th, I'm actually going to backdate it to March 15th, because then this allows me to send this complaint within 2 weeks opposed to waiting 30 days, right? Because we just backdated it. So that's just a hack. For those of you who are repairing your own credit, backdate everything. It allows you to speed up the process and allows you to kind of attack the credit bureaus at a more aggressive approach. All right, you guys following me? All right, cool. All right, so here, what you're gonna wanna include is the date. So because we're backdating, we're gonna put on 3/15, or yeah, if we're sending on April 15th or May, you know, let's do May since we're in May. Let's do April 15th. On May 15th, I sent out, I'm just gonna shorthand this, sent out letters to the bureaus, to each company asking for verification, So I'm not going to write it out. I'll tell you guys what else to say. On 4/15th, I sent a letter to the companies, or you can say the credit bureaus or Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian, asking for verification. You obviously do not want to include any personal information because you're going to have a later section to be able to do so. So on 4/15th, I sent a letter to the companies asking for verification. It took longer than 30 days. Now, in this section, you're actually gonna write out the law. So the law is going to be 609 law, and you guys can look further into that as well. But the 609 law means that you have to respond within 30 days. So you want to be very transparent when you're writing your actual letter and your compliance. According to the 609 Fed Credit Repairing Act, you have 30 days to do so. Now, if you didn't do so within 30 days, this account needs to come off my report. And then from there, anything else you feel like they should know. Sometimes I say I'm extremely frustrated. Sometimes I make this long, big stink. It really all depends. Each client is different, and depending on what exactly you're looking for, it will be based on how you write your compliance. But one thing for sure, you always want to include the back date, not the actual date you sent the letter. And you always want to include the law. And the law is going to be the 609. It's like 609A. Which is super important as well. So this is going to be the first thing. Like they said, you're not going to include any account numbers, no social security numbers, anything like that, because that's all going to be in your actual dispute letters. I never let them publish anything because a lot of times, because I have so many clients, you know, verbiage start to use the same, and because I teach this stuff, so I never really publish anything because you don't want them to get too familiar about what you're doing. All right. So then from there, what would you like them to do? Obviously, I would like this to be removed from my credit report within the next 15 days. Very important. You say next 15 days. I don't want it to happen in 30 days. I don't want it to happen in 20. I need it to happen in 15 days. 15 days is a marker where the complaint goes through and it gets to the credit bureaus and they should be able to respond. So very important that you include what exactly you need them to do. All right. You guys following me? Somebody unmute themselves and tell me you guys are good. We're still on the same page with one another.
Yeah, we're following.
We're good.
All right. Any questions so far?
Could you point us in the direction of the 609 letter?
Yeah. Let's backtrack. Okay, let me pull that up for you guys. I'll show you guys the actual letter that I used. All right, so this is an exact letter, word for word, I use for my company. You guys can see my screen still? Yeah?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm sorry, I'm really new to Zoom, so if I ask, like, can you guys see me, please just bear with me. I just want to make sure we're all on the same page. All right, so in a 609 letter, you're basically going to write your first and your last name, your address, your date of birth, and the date. Now, I told you guys you want to backdate, so make sure that if this date comes in as today's date, you want to backdate it 30 days. And the bureau's address. So depending on what bureau you are reaching out to will depend on the address. Make sure that you get the updated addresses because the credit bureaus have a tendency to change their address so you can't get your disputes. So make sure that whenever you're sending out a dispute, just make sure you're sending the proper address. All right. So I like in my subject line, please take action immediately. I don't want no gray areas. I don't want you to try to figure out what I'm trying to say. Very straight to the point. You are violating the law. Okay. And then from here, to whom it may concern, I'm writing about an issue that I found on my credit report. These issues have made it very hard for me to get a home and would like this to be resolved ASAP. Obviously, if you're not trying to get a home, you're trying to get a car or whatever, you obviously supplement that right there. I need factual evidence because I am not liable for this debt you are reporting. These accounts are unverifiable, they're invalidated, and they're questionable. Make sure that you tell them that this account was never validated. Who did you validate this with? As the original creditor, I need you to tell me who you did that with because I am the original creditor and you've never validated anything with me. All right. And I'm really big on laws. Some credit repair businesses will tell you don't use laws. However, if you study laws and understand laws, laws can be used to your advantage. So this particular law here, this agency is in violation of the 15U.S.C.1692G. They were to notify me of the written 5 days prior, and I was not. Remember, we backdated it. So anything we do seems like we did it prior to when we actually did it, which is kind of a big secret. As the original creditor, I'm the only one to validate this debt. I did not validate this debt. Therefore, the following needs to be removed from my credit report. Like I told you, nobody called you and asked you, did you owe the debt, right? So that's why we use those type of verbiages. So then you go, I demand that as a consumer, I see the original contract. If you don't reply within 30 days, then I'm going to be sending a complaint to exactly what I'm telling you guys to do right now. The CFPB, if you fail to investigate. Nobody wants to be told on, so that kind of scares them, but sometimes it doesn't. So then we just take the extra measure of actually filing the complaint. And then I mentioned the law again, because I want you to know that I know my stuff. So I'm telling you again that you're violating the law, and here's the law you're violating. You never notified me. You never said what you want to do. And I want you to suppress from calling me. Anything on my credit report, I want it all removed. Thank you for your time. And you list your accounts below. All right. So that's the basic 609 letter that I actually use on my first round of disputes. And as you go along and you continue disputing, you change this up based on what the response they give you. But in 609 letters, you want to make sure the account is there, make sure you say what you got to say, and you make sure you dispute with a reason. And that's basically how we go ahead and just, send out letters. So that will be a traditional 609 letter. Everybody's a little differently, but the formatting stays the same. Was that okay? Did that help you guys?
Yes, absolutely.
Cool. All right, so we're back. So now that you guys see, what we said in that letter, how we're complaining, what we're saying, the next thing they're going to do is upload your actual, what you disputed, the letter. So that letter that I just showed you, you're going to go ahead and download it to this. It says optional, but you want to put it. And because we backdated, right? Backdating means that we sent it a month before we actually did. So they can see that we sent it a month before. So everything kind of aligns in our favor. So backdating is super, super, super important. All right, so the next thing you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna wanna say who you're complaining about, right? I'm upset with Equifax. So I'm gonna tell you that Equifax is the reason why I'm filing this complaint, and Equifax Information Service LLC is what you're gonna choose. And then you go ahead and put your social security number. We'll put 000 for this situation. And then I'm going to complain to another company. So me, I complain to all three at the same time. So now we're going to say TransUnion pissed you off. TransUnion didn't do what they said they were going to do. So we're complaining on them as well. Did you try to fix the problem? Yes. You enter your social security number. All right. And then the same thing goes for Experian. And then we put yes, social security number, and then we're on to the next. Okay, and the last step is, was this done by anybody else? You always put you. Even if a credit repair company did it, they're always going to use you because they tend to say that a third party company is not liable, all the stuff that they try to do to block people from actually helping others do their credit. So we always just put just you. So you're going to insert your name. We'll put K Williams. And then you're going to put your address. We'll put Maple Street. Yeah, I'll get to you in 2 seconds. And you put your name, you know, you guys get that, all this other stuff you insert. And then your email address. Are you a vet or not? And then you're gonna go to review. Oops, sorry, let's see what they want me to complete. And then, wow, they're just gonna be so annoying. So once you get to review, it looks like this. So you make sure everything you said was correct. If you need to edit anything, like I said, I never really tell them to publish my stuff because a lot of times, you know, the verbiage stays the same. So, and you go ahead and check these 2 boxes and then you submit your complaint. We're not going to submit this one because obviously it's not real, but it's that easy. Then it takes 15 days for them to respond and they'll either tell you, hey, we contact the company wants you to do X, Y, and Z, or they'll tell you what your next step is, or they'll go ahead and delete it completely. It's super easy to do this. Some people make it super complicated. So I just wanted to share with you guys how easy it can actually be to dispute your own credit. Or if you're in a situation where, you know, most people don't have the time to dispute their own credit, which is understandable. And, you know, that's when you go ahead and you hire someone, but never feel like you can't do it yourself. So let me try to find where you guys are again. All right, cool. I'm sorry. Let me see if I can open this bigger so I can see the chat. You can go ahead and unmute yourself, hon.
Good evening. My issue is I've been a person that, you know, very proactive with my credit report and have been right into the 3 agencies for the last maybe 2-3 years.
Yeah.
And I noticed that they, I think Experian is the company that keep removing stuff off of my credit report, and then it in turn have the other ones do so too. So I have cars that I actually have in my name that is not reflecting on my credit report, and it's dropping my credit score. Now, I've been disputing this for months and been going to the companies, having them write letters as well as submitting the letters to them. In this situation, would I be able to go through the same company you're referring to and do the same thing to report what's going on so that they can help diffuse the situation?
Yeah, definitely. So basically, how long have you been, you said over the course of a couple years?
Yeah, I've been doing this since maybe 2020, 2019. Like I keep all of the letters that I submit to them.
Okay.
And I have been trying to get them to add stuff, like they even like little bull crap cards like Care Credit. I even just took out just to get my credit score up. Just recently got a Discover card for $5,000, but for whatever reason they took it off and reached out to them and said I reported it as a fraud account. And I'm like, it's not a fraud account. Like clearly I just activated the card and I'm using it and I'm paying it.
Right,
so I don't understand why they literally keep removing stuff off my account. I have no idea why they're doing that. But they've been doing it for like 2 to 3 years.
Did you work with a credit repair company ever?
No, I never worked with credit repair companies. I've always been doing it myself, submitting letters right into them, like Googling how to do certain things and then just writing into them.
Okay, so in your letters, or have you ever filed an identity theft report or anything like that?
Have I ever filed the
identity theft report?
Yeah, because I was a victim of identity theft, but that was like when I was younger, somebody stole my pocketbook. So
Okay.
I just have something on my, I just have like something on my report to where if I need credit, I don't get credit extended to me immediately. It takes days for them to reach out to see if I'm the actual person that's requesting the credit.
Yeah, so that's probably what you're getting jammed up with. Why they keep taking things off is because they keep thinking it's identity theft. So once you kind of put something on your credit or you put an alert that's like fraud, a lot of times it makes it a little bit more complicated to get stuff and keep it on your report. If you wouldn't mind reaching out to me, we can try to work through it together and I can look at the letters and see what they're saying to you.
Okay.
And we can try to dissect and see what's going on. I actually had this happen to my mother. So I would love to help you. If you just reach out to me, I'll put my Instagram in the chat for you. If you
Okay.
DM me and just say, hey, I was talking to you in the Wealth Squad, and then we can connect and set up a call together and look through the letters together and see where we're going wrong and how we can kind of resolve. But to answer your original question, yes, you can definitely file a complaint through the method I just told you, and
Okay.
wait for them to give you a response based on what the investigation says.
Okay. So
Yeah.
can you do the because I don't really know how to do the Zoom that well to where I can get to the chat. So I'm going to try to find it. I think I click on a name or something, right, to find it. Oh, you just did it. Do it again. I seen it.
Yeah, I'll put it in again. It's
Okay.
KAY 650 credit.
Okay. Okay, I have it, and I'll inbox you. My Instagram is she me her mind over matter. So I'll
Okay.
inbox you now.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll answer you as soon as I get off the call.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. If you don't mind, would I be able to help? Yeah, of course. If you email me admin at 650 and I'm really not good at reaching out, but if you reach out to me, I will respond. I'm just not like I'm like all over the place all the time. So if you reach out to me, I will get back to you. Anyone else have any questions about how to write a compliance or anything that's going on with their personal report that they kind of want to get better help on or understanding about? Did somebody unmute themselves?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask a question about whether I could actually use this process to address a issue I'm having.
Yeah.
So I had a late payment on like a student loan, and it's like one of those situations where you have the late payment on the student loan, but then COVID happens and everything is just reset to zero. So you're not actually you don't actually owe a balance, but the report is like saying that you have late student loan payments. So is this something that I can address using this policy or this process?
So you have a late payment on your student loan, just one?
I think it went for a couple months,
Mhm.
and it showed up on the credit report.
Okay. So what you can do is you can definitely write a 609 letter to dispute the late payments, but student loan companies are actually super, super cool when it comes down to late payments. So if you just call them and tell them you were affected by COVID, they'll take the late payments off.
Is that like taking it off my account or directly off the credit report?
Once they take it off your account, they'll update to the credit report. I personally did this with myself. I just call and tell them, hey, I was affected by COVID. My account was in deferment. Looks like an issue was on your part. And then they'll go ahead and update it. And it'll update on your credit report within like 15 to 30 days. But I would start with them, call them. And if that doesn't work, then send in a 609 letter. But I'm almost certain that if you call the student loan and tell them you're affected by COVID, they'll go ahead and update those payments for you.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Can I remove inquiries? So the way you remove inquiries, I'm sorry, I didn't record last call and I'm gonna do another call on how you do inquiries because I didn't record the last one, my apologies, but you remove inquiries, you can actually call the bureaus themselves and tell them you gotta call at 5 o'clock, that's the secret because they are getting off of work and they don't wanna stay on the phone. So you call and you say these simple words, hey, I was just on the phone with another representative. They said they were going to remove my inquiries because they weren't valid. and they'll be like, literally, they're so in a rush to get off of work. They're like, all right, they'll be removed within 24 hours. And then 24 hours later, they're removed. So sometimes you just got to get on the phone and you just got to know the right times. But you can also send a letter, which we send letters and we call. So, but the calling method has been working way more effectively. But the key to doing it is doing it around 5 o'clock when the bureaus are getting off of work. What if the student loan payment had been before COVID? So if you call them and you just tell them, honestly, the way you get things off your report with student loans, you call and tell them a sob story. You tell them that literally anything, honestly, look, I was affected by this. I didn't realize, I didn't get an email. You always place blame on them because then they'll feel like the government essentially just wants their money. So if they can make your life easier by you paying, then they're willing to do it. So you just got to get on the phone and just make it sound good. I'm not telling you to lie, but I'm telling you to make it sound good. What number do you call? So the bureaus, if you Google it, Equifax, TransUnion, Experian, they'll pop right up, right on Google. So if you just look on Google, you'll be able to find all the numbers. I don't know all of them offhand. How would you go? Old addresses. So old addresses, you can send a 609 letter as well. The next call, I'll show you guys the backdoor portal on Experian, so how you can do it instantly. But it's just a little bit of a process. So we'll do that on next time I'm on with you guys. We'll go through how to do a 24-hour inquiry. Old address removal. The only thing is with old addresses, if the address is associated with an open account, then it won't be able to come off. So the address has to be associated with a closed account. So if you have a collection account, if you have like a credit card account or a collection account that is open or charged off in the status, then it won't be able to come off because it's associated with accounts, because there's geographical codes associated with each account on your credit report that's also associated with the address. So you'll find that when we go through the Experian that sometimes red flags come up. But when that happens, I'll also explain to you what to do when you see some errors, but we'll do that next call. So for those of you who are wondering how to get rid of old addresses or clear up some of your personal information, I'll give you guys the secret on how to do it backdoor with Experian. To do it with TransUnion and Equifax, you have to send in a letter or you can call them. I'm not really big on calling all the time because there's so many other the other things I call for. So some things I just write letters and wait it out, but other things like when you're trying to do a faster process or when you're doing it yourself, obviously you guys have a little bit more time. So you can go ahead and sit on the phone. Speaking to the bureau sometimes can take a long time. So just be like, if you're going to call, just give yourself, some time, or call at 5 p.m. Anytime you're doing anything, you want to call when people are getting off of work or when nobody's there, especially when applying for credit cards and things like that, because you'll be more guaranteed to get the results that you're looking for, opposed to doing it when they just got there or they just got off of lunch or things like that. So that would be my hack, is just make sure. I sometimes look up the hours operation. All right, they get off at 4:30. I'm going to be the last caller at 4:28. So that's kind of what I do with multiple things. Did that help you guys? I hope I answered your question. Any other questions? Cool, appreciate you. I'm sorry I sound so nasally today. I'm just everybody's cool. So yeah, so if you guys need to reach me, if you guys want to talk about anything, if you want to send me your credit report and say, hey, can you look at it? Many people will tell you, I'll look at your credit report. We'll talk about it. I love what goes on in the Wealth Squad, and I love just, helping people fix their credit. So anything I could do to help you guys, I'm willing to do. Or sit on the phone and talk. I'm in real estate too. So if you guys want to know about property or what you should do to get your credit report looking, prepared for some property, we can talk about all those things. Just reach out and I'll extend all the things I know to you guys and all my resources. to you guys as well. So like I said, I'm feeling a little under the weather. So if you guys don't have any questions for me, we'll wrap it up. And then next time I'm on, I think it's in 2 weeks, we will talk about actually how to do the personal information, and we'll talk about how to write the letter, and we'll go over all the things that any other questions you guys have then. And look, if you guys are going to be on calls with me and you guys like being with me and tapping in, come up with some questions you guys have, your mom has, and you want to know. There's nothing that's off limits. We're here to work together, and we're here to learn and grow together. So I appreciate you guys for sticking it out with me. I'm sorry I'm not feeling the greatest, but I did just want to do this call because I know a lot of people did DM me last time I was on here about how to do that information. So I'll talk to you guys soon. Stay blessed, and let's make a lot of money this week, okay? Peace.